Welcome back to Sport on 7. I'm Tom Bushell. You can get me on Twitter. It's at Tom Bushell UAE. Now, this summer, we have seen a heap of sport, and it has been a tremendous summer for British sports fans. Chris Froome won the Tour de France. England have dominated the Ashes. The Lions roared to victory down under. And, of course, Andy Murray picked up that Wimbledon win. Former British No.1 Tim Heman was in the UAE for SummerFest Abu Dhabi in July, and I caught up with him to talk tennis. The former British No.1 reached 4 semi-finals in his Wimbledon career, but was never able to make the breakthrough to a Grand Slam final. There was no one more delighted, however, to see Murray grab the trophy on centre court.
It was amazing. I was lucky enough to be commentating on it for the BBC, and just the match, the pressure, the excitement, the drama at the end of it was just incredible. And you know, it's the beauty of the of tennis and the scoring system. 2 sets to love, 5-4, 40 love. The match is over, and you know, 5 or 6 points later, when Djokovic had break point, you think that if he were able to get a breaker serve there, you know, was he the favourite for the match? I mean, it was incredible, but I think it just showed Andy's resilience, his sort of mental fortitude to find a way to get over the line, and you know, what an amazing achievement.
For him now, of course, Wimbledon, the US Open, and Olympic gold, the final of another Grand Slam. He's got to be the best in the world, even if it's not shown in the rankings.
Well, I mean, the rankings don't lie, and Djokovic is #1, but you know, it goes to show how well Murray's played in those big tournaments. I think when you reflect on the way the actual ranking system is made up of your 18 best tournaments, your 4 Grand Slams, the 9 Masters 1000, in those tournaments Andy hasn't played so consistently well, and that's probably where he's a little bit further behind. But for me, he was always going to win, you know, many Grand Slam titles, and I also feel that he will be, you know, world #1 one day. You know, it might not be in the next 3 or 6 months, but it's certainly something I do see further down the line.
So the future is bright for Britain's biggest tennis talent, but what about the kids? There is plenty of passion in the UAE, and it's the UAE where the next batch of British tennis players could emerge from.
Yeah, I hope so, and you know, I played a lot in this region. You know, during my career, I started playing in Doha, I think, in about 1997, and played there many years. I played a lot in Dubai, and this region is fantastic with its sporting calendar. It's got you know, great tennis events. It's got a lot of golf. It's got the Formula One, and you know, many others. And you know, I've always enjoyed coming here. It's great to be here for the SummerFest, and hopefully I'm going to be back a bit more in the future.
Of course, I mean, looking at British tennis, you look kind of beyond Andy Murray, and there's maybe not many who you would say they're going to be next on the world stage. But do you think for this region that the next British #1 could technically come from the UAE with the facilities we have, the expats we have out here as well?
Yeah, that's right, and I think it is very important. You talk about role models and inspiring the next generation. You know, I think with all the events they have here on the sporting calendar, it's really important that you know, some of the youngsters are getting involved in sport, because it's you know, it's a great way of life. You know, there are great games, there are opportunities to, you know, travel the world doing something you love. So hopefully there are going to be more, and you know, more and more kids picking up tennis in this part of the world, and with the events, the big tournaments you've got, then I'm sure they're going to be great role models.
Well, if that's the case, can I possibly be a late bloomer and potentially find myself on centre court in the years to come? To see how I fare against the former world #4, I had a hit against one of the best serve and volley players in the world. So here we are then at the Do Forum. I was surprised at my form. I clearly made Henman feel uneasy at the other side of the net as he served.
That was out.
Yes, out. A great decision by the line judge there as I moved to love 15 up. Another serve from Henman, and I've challenged it, and quite right as well. It was out. It's now love 30 to me. Henman is on the back foot here. So can Henman get his service game back on track? Wow, he can't. Henman doesn't know what to do here. 3 straight points won against a 4-time Wimbledon semi-finalist. I'm on the verge of a shock break of serve here. You can almost cut the tension with a knife here. So Henman gets his serve in this time, but I managed to return it. Henman sends me running, but I look to lob Henman, but he's come into the net as he always does, and he smashes that, and it's out. I take the title, and what a summer for British sport this really is turning out to be. What a win. What a win. Wimbledon next year, that's what I'm setting my sights on. Now, Henman wasn't the only man to come over for SummerFest Abu Dhabi. Former NBA star Robert Horry was also here to throw some hoops with the kids in the capital. The American won 7 NBA championships in his time, and I spoke to Big Shot Hory whilst he was here.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild place, but I'm just so excited to be here. I can't really talk about one thing that I really enjoy because I've enjoyed everything, you know, from going to the mosque, to the palace, to going dune busting, riding a camel. Man, I'm so excited, but this is like one of the only trips I've ever taken where I was disappointed that I was leaving because there's so many wonderful things here to experience, and I didn't have enough time to experience them all because I got so much stuff going back in the United States. But my experience here has been wonderful.
As well as being a tourist here, there's obviously a lot of kids wanting to play basketball, and I know later on you'll be checking out what they're like, their skills, but there's a lot of passion for basketball here, certainly in the Filipino community in the UAE, which is great to see for the sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to see how the world has taken basketball into their arms. You know, before soccer was the #1 sport, and I think basketball is slowly creeping up on them, so it's exciting to always go watch kids from different countries to see their skill sets, to see their passion for the game, and to see their love for the game, to see how hard they're out there playing the game, diving on the floor for balls, and just pretty much enjoying it, because that's why we all started playing basketball, because we enjoy playing it for the love of it, and for some of us it goes on to a career like myself, but you play it for the love.
In terms of your career, obviously not playing anymore and in the commentating side of things, but in your career, 3 massive clubs that you played for. What's the highlight of your career that you can always look back on?
Yeah, I can always look back on a couple of things. First, being drafted by the Houston Rockets, which was a team I really wanted to go to. I thought that my skill set would match perfectly for. And then winning 7 championships. Yeah, you can look at all the great players like Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, those guys who didn't win championships. They got to the finals, but when they were able to win a championship, and for me to go on, being a little guy from Alabama and winning 7 championships it's simply amazing.
In terms of your new career and being behind the microphone, how are you finding that as well? Have you seen the game from a different side, a different angle?
You know, I've always seen the game from every side of it, because you have to look at everybody's job, how they do things, and what people are going to say. And I think as athletes, sometimes you get upset by certain things commentators say, but you got to realize they're only speaking their mind, and there's not to get upset. There's no reason to get upset. And I've learned that because covering the Lakers, when they weren't that good, you ran out of a lot of positive things to say, so you had to say some negative things. And some of the guys got mad, but it's understandable. It's like you got to tell them, like, I'm not trying to, bash you. I'm just speaking what I see. If you don't like it, change it by going out and playing harder. So it's been fun. It's been an experience, and I learned a lot from it.
And there's so much sport here in the UAE. Tennis, golf, football, basketball is played as well. Is this somewhere you could see the NBA coming to a lot more often and possibly even playing, a game here for points as well?
I think with the coverage here and the love for the sport here, I can see the NBA starting a couple of games here. Meaning, I remember when I first got in the league, my very first NBA game, official NBA game, not preseason. My first official game was played in Japan, and we played 2 games there. And I can see that happening here. Guys can come over, play 2 games and start the season off, and then go back to the States and play and give your body a chance to readapt to the time zone. But this is a wonderful place, great facilities, and being in Abu Dhabi, they're gonna go all out. That's the best thing. And I think if the NBA exploited more, they could find a way to get a couple of games over here.
Robert Horry, thank you so much for talking to me.
No, thanks for having me.
Big Shot Hory there. Sadly, I wasn't able to compete with him like I did with Tim Henman. Just far too big for me. There was just no chance, was there? Now, former footballer Andrew Cole also came over for the event, SummerFest Abu Dhabi, which shows just how busy this summer has been in the UAE. Next on Sport on 7, we'll catch up with Chris McCarty as we discuss the big talking points of the summer, and we'll take a look at Dubai Sports World as well. We'll see you in just a moment.